Okay guys, I want to talk a little bit about shipping containers. If you notice, this one's got a lot of dents in it, a lot of gouges, a lot of imperfections. This thing has been overseas quite a few times. It's had the hang beat out of it. This one over here doesn't look as bad on the sides, but the roof is dented in. I've got one of the 40, or actually we got two 40-foot, and they're a little less than 8 wide on the inside, and it says 9 foot 6 inch high on the inside. Okay, so if you look up here, you're going to see an area that was dented down. Here's another dent that somebody patched along the way just to keep it working. If you notice the rust around the edges, it's holding water up on the roof, so it tends to leak a little bit out of this one. And see a buzzard way up there. I don't know, I just got distracted. Okay, it's my ADD kicking in. Okay, so we have several places like this that were dented in. I've already jacked this up. I'll show you what I did. Basically, I took this 4x4 and put it up here, and I jacked it up with a floor jack. This one, something's wrong with it, or it just wouldn't do what I needed it to do. I think something's wrong with it, but anyway, it bent this one up a little bit, and you could hear the water running off the roof after I did that. And so there's another location down there, see, right there. You can see where it's bent down, and there's a weld seam because it was patched. And because it's bent down and there's a weld seam, it leaks water right there. And the last thing I want to do is rust up my 47 Dodge more than it already has been. So don't want to do that. But if you see my shelf down there, this body is going to sit on top of that. And if you remember, I put the frame of the car underneath it. So I'm going to pause the video, put this 4x4 down, and I'll give you a little bit better coverage over there. Okay, here we go. All right, so you see, that's what we got under here. Instead of wasting all the space above this, because that's there and I don't want to stack anything on top of it, I can't even put the body on top of it because I don't want to scratch it. You can see all the frame has already been painted, so I don't want to start messing things like that up. So we built this. We haven't put this last piece of plywood on, and this is subflooring that we used. And we used 2x6s and cut them down to about 7 feet long. And we put 4x4s, 6 of them, 16 foot long. Actually 16 foot deep right here. So it's just 4 sheets of plywood. And so the amount of money I spent wasn't anything compared to the benefit I'm getting out of it. Being able to store almost 8 feet by 16 feet. And anyway, so here's where my main leak is, and that's the reason I didn't put this plywood back here. If you look, one little wet spot. So I don't want to continue doing that for sure. I don't want any moisture in here. Everything will rust up really bad if I get moisture in here. So I'm going to do something for keeping the moisture out. But you can see over here, the roof is bent up a little bit at those joints. You see where it's been patched right there. All those tend to leak if they're bent down, like this one, and that's why it's rusty. So I'm going to remove this piece of plywood that's just sitting here because of what we needed to do, and I'm going to jack that up and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, here I go again. Oh man, it gets old holding the camera while I'm trying to do something. Actually, phone. Okay. All right, so this is what I got going on here. And here we are.